Yeah, so I was thinking, okay, so this, I'm always so awkward when I start off these videos, but this is gonna be an interesting, like, topic, um, for me, and I hope it gets, like, people talking about this type of thing. Um, Empathic people and versus, like, people that don't have empathy at all. Um, I myself feel like I have empathy in a lot of ways. Like, I can feel often what people are feeling. I mean, I believe that's what's going on because I'm like, ooh, they're in pain, and then I all of a sudden I'm like feeling that same way, and um, yeah, so that's what I call that, being an empath, and it can be really hard, but it also has its advantages for sure. Um, one one huge advantage that I believe that I have, based on the information that I've collected throughout the years, is my ability to interact with animals. Um, so the most recent, because I like my life is just really busy and with work and all that kind of stuff lately. But last spring, so the spring of 2019, I had the absolute pleasure. Um, I was driving on my way to work, and for whatever reason, I guess now it's kind of like a story time. But for whatever reason, I was like, man, I'm already up. I'm just gonna drive to work and get there half an hour early, and I'll just sit in my car and chill for that whole half an hour that I'm early. Like, whatever, I'm just awake, so might as well just go and do it. So I leave my house, and it's not that far away. It's like a few miles away, and I just pull up in a neighborhood, um, close by, and I just park the car. And right when I put it into park, I see this little gray thing hopping around on the ground, like flapping. And it's like, okay, what's kind of bird? And like, why is that bird acting so strange? And um, so I like, my immediate instinct is to like jump out and investigate. So that's what I do. And I get out, and I'm like, oh shoot, this is an owl. And it's a fledgling owl, so it's like trying to fly and it can't really get there. So it's flapping on the ground trying to fly. Its parent, it's a screech owl, and its parent is in the tree above. I'm like, oh my god, like, did you mean to do this? Seems like you must have just fallen out of your nest or something. So I'm like, I pick him up, and he just kind of chills on my finger, and it was kind of hard to catch him at first, just because I didn't have any equipment with me. And you have to be very, very careful because you don't want to, like, obviously injure them while you're capturing them. So I have had training with some birds. I'm not allowed to raise raptors on my own because you have to get a specific permit for that. And I ended up giving him to this lady who specializes in owls and other raptors. I think that they're raptors as well. I know that they're predatory birds. Anyway, so I finally catch him, and he's chilling on me finally, and I'm trying to think when, because for that whole rest of the morning, like, I check in at work, but for like a big chunk of time, I'm like, I tell my client, hey, I just gotta go out and look to see if I can find this owl's home, because I don't want to, like, the best thing you can do is put like a baby back where its nest is. So I'm like climbing these trees and looking where the heck it may have fallen out from, because I'm familiar with what a screech owl's home would look like, the size of the hole and all that. And there's various trees that I'm climbing, and I just can't find it. So I ended up keeping him with me all day at my client's place for like 8 hours, and my client's totally fine with it. And it's just hilarious that there's like, we have a baby owl, and he's like cuddling with me on, like, underneath my shirt and stuff, and I'm like, okay, just don't imprint on me, please. I mean, as amazing as that is, that maybe animals can imprint on humans, you do not want that, because you want to catch them safely, house them, feed them, release them. That is the ultimate goal, unless they're damaged and they have to stay with you. Um, Anyway, getting off track. so I have him with me at my client's house. But oh, before that, this is the really crazy part, and I have pictures of this. I don't know how to really post things on here. I wish I could make it my like thumbnail or something. That'd probably be a weird thumbnail anyway. But when I first captured this little fledgling owl, I bring him into my car, because obviously I still have to drive a little ways to get to work, and he just immediately, like, I've never seen an owl do this before, but he just immediately stretches out on my lap like a cat or like a dog would do. He just stretches, like he's stretching out, and then like his eyes close and he's just there. So it doesn't look like an owl. It looks like this long, like, gray, weird shaped, like oblong blob on my lap, and I'm like, oh my god. Like, I don't know if he had been flapping around all morning and just like got really tired, but it was just like this magical moment of, like, he just surrendered and like trusted me, and I was like completely honored by that, and I was just like trying not to like tear up because I had to go to work with an owl. And the whole morning I was just like, I don't know, like, how to tell my client I have an owl with me, and I'm like trying to, like, he's like in my shirt, and like I'm trying to hide him, and I'm like, I can't hide an owl forever, like he's gonna notice that I'm acting weird. So I was like, I got a situation, I got this baby owl, and I'm really sorry. And like he's like, oh, that's amazing, like, and my client's like kid, like his granddaughter and great grandkids came over, and they all got to like pet the owl because it was a really docile owl. So ethically, I hope that was the right choice. I mean, introducing kids to wildlife, I feel like that's always a positive thing. And because I've had experience handling birds before, like, I knew like how much you don't want to traumatize them too much. You don't want to you want to handle them very minimally. So this was one of those weird situations, and I didn't let them pet him for that long. You know, a couple like that, that's fine. Obviously, they're not going to have a long relationship with this owl, so they're not going to be like totally handling him, and he's going to soon forget about them. Anyhow, so that was amazing, and like the owl, it was just like completely cuddling with me the whole day. Like I said, I only got to have this little baby for a day, and then I had to work overnight. So I think the next day we took him to the rehab lady so he could be raised by someone with an actual permit and then released. So yeah, it was really sad, but just that experience of like being able to connect with that baby owl, and like he just like, I don't know if it's a girl or a boy, but they just like totally trusted me, and like they were just cuddling with me and just like never tried to bite me or anything. We ended up getting little pinkies, which is baby mice, and just feeding it to him, and he would just swallow them whole, of course. We actually found a little, I forget what they're called. They puke up these things. Sometimes they're like little gray pellets with bits of animal and hair in it. I don't know what those are called. They're most often like gray in color. And we kept it because we're gross, and that was our baby. So yeah, my girlfriend got to watch him for the night while I was at work, and it was an amazing experience. But yeah, so just, it can suck to be an empath, but amazing moments like that just make it so worth it. So I don't know, I think that I'm really not the best with like people and communicating. Like I even have trouble looking on camera, like, cause I feel like it's almost like an eye contact thing, like staring at the camera. It's so weird. But with animals, it's just so different. Like, I don't know, it's like they get me. I don't know if I'm just like, I am more of an animal than a person. That sounds insane. But yeah, that's my empath / owl story. I don't know how I'm gonna title this now. All right, bye.